Today's Out of Pocket is with an old friend of mine, Ian Desmond. Ian and I went to Sarasota High School together and also changed the trajectory of Mizzen+Main by introducing us to Major League Baseball locker rooms and making us a household name with pro athletes everywhere. Ian and I talked about his experience in the big leagues. We also talked about life after ball and what it's like raising a family of 5 and becoming a little bit of a farm guy. We had a great conversation and I think you'll really enjoy it. Honors?
Sure.
Honestly, you're going to have a very short line into the green. That's a pretty good shot.
All right, take it. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
All right, man.
Here we go.
We found 2 fairways.
Yeah.
So, how's retired life?
Man.
I mean, busier than ever, I assume.
It's good, yeah. I mean, it is definitely more work than I thought I would be doing.
Yep.
But like at the same time, it's like, you know, I'm kind of getting to the point where, you know, I'm got my feelers out for like another career.
Yep.
Just like, you know, 37 years old, man. You know, like it's too young to be like sitting around. Good shot.
I'll take it.
I don't trust anybody that plays really good golf.
You retired during COVID, right?
Yeah.
Do you miss that experience? Do you miss the sport?
Yeah, I mean, I miss it. It's just, you know, I don't miss it more than what I'm doing now. Like, I couldn't imagine not being at my kids' baseball games. I miss competitive. I miss like going out there and like being a dog, you know, like going out there and like competing and, you know, just getting in that clubhouse environment. Go in.
Oh. Was there a moment, a specific moment where you said, I'm done with baseball?
I think the year before COVID, I was kind of like questioning if this is really what I wanted to keep on doing, and like asking people, you know, like, you know, what was retirement like for you? You know, when did you know? You know, those questions were already coming up.
Okay.
It was just kind of like, you know, is this still the dream? And you know, I was feeling it fade on the inside, having conversations with the pastor at church, you know, like, hey, you know, when is enough, you know, and just trying to find that contentment. And I think that's one thing, like, I'm very content with my career. Awesome. I'm content with the decision that I made, you know, so that's really, that's what we're looking for, right, is that contentment. Oh, good touch.
Sit on down.
Nestle. Not bad there.
Nice putt.
Thank you.
If you're playing against a guy who has a wedge like this, don't play for money.
Yeah, right. This thing, I mean, I don't know, man.
That's a pretty good ball pattern.
I make sure to get the ones off the hosel real quick. I just wipe those ones down real quick after they take a hard right.
Oh.
Never saw it.
It's funny, I haven't missed an iron like that in a long time, and I'm on camera and you gotta do that.
Well, they're gonna cut it out. That's nice.
That's the best part.
That never even happened.
Nope. What does a typical Saturday look like in the Desmond household?
Feed the horses, feed the dogs, take them out.
How many horses do you have?
We got 3 horses, 2 dogs.
Did you always know you'd be a ranch guy?
No, man, I mean, it's weird. I was looking back, I remember being a kid and like drawing. I used to like to draw horses.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed that lifestyle, going to the lake, you know, fishing and being around like trucks and stuff like that. But like, as far as like being a rancher, I never thought that was what I would do. But I always did think that when I was done playing, I would do something that I didn't know anything about. So I guess that's kind of come to fruition.
Was draft day, what did that look like?
Kind of the build up to that was like, I never really ever thought that I always wanted to be a big leaguer. Yeah. But like, you know, as far as like preparation and like all that stuff, like I was kind of just raw, you know. So I always wanted to just get to high school. When I got to high school, I wanted to get to college. When I got to college, you know, got the college scholarship, then I wanted to get drafted. So it wasn't like I was dreaming about getting drafted from day one. Nice swing.
That's gonna be in the bunkers. I don't think that's gonna make it.
Great swing though.
Thank you.
So yeah, draft day, I was at first watch with my mom got a call basically saying, hey, we just drafted you. And then, you know, this is kind of where I was. Like, they were at my house signing paperwork like 2 days later, maybe not the next day.
That's awesome.
You know, there was no negotiation. It was just like, I'm ready to go. Like my agent at the time, you know, was basically like, look, you can hold out for money now, or you can go and get started. You'll never regret holding out for that $50,000, $100,000 if you make, you know, millions being the player that we think that you're going to be. Yeah, I mean, in that organization, I think they fell in love with me partially because of things like that, where like I was more about the game than I was about the dollars. Will it come back down off of that hill?
If you spin it like crazy, it will, but just a normal...
If I just roll it up there, like say I punch it up there and it hits that hill, will it come back a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see if he's a liar.
Come off! Oh my gosh.
It didn't come back. Unbelievable.
Get up.
Going. Come back. Sit. Thank you.
Between DC, Texas, and Colorado, what was that like from a family perspective?
It was good, but I mean, it's different because in Washington we had 3 boys, you know, and we had help and it was home. You know, DC, we were very familiar with DC and the people in DC. It kind of like represented 3 different stages, you know, like the young family life was like the first step in Washington. And then like the Texas was like, okay, you know, back against the wall, dad, you know, what are you gonna do? And then Colorado was like, okay, let's, you know, establish and, you know,
life again.
Let's start, you know, focusing on like long-term family, you know, goals. And yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for all 3 stops. I think like all 3 stops were like necessary for like my life. Nice kick. Oh no. Get down, ball. Oh.
Yeah, she gone.
She gone.
She gone.
Dang it. Edit.
Nice shot. The rise on that thing.
Yeah, hey. Good hole, guys.
And with the off and on of baseball and the travel and all that, how did Chelsea maintain her sanity? Besides being,
I think it made it easier that she had been with me all through we had been together all through the minor leagues. So I mean, what we were doing, you know, in the minor leagues was much more difficult than what we were doing in the major leagues. I would say she's happy to be home, not having to do it anymore. But I think she did a great job embracing it while we were in the thick of it.
With your kids' sports, how do you help them love it if they want to, but not feel the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, that is hard. I think it's easy for me to just say that education is most important.
Sure.
You know, that's kind of where I kind of put my flag in the ground, is that education is where I want to try to benefit you the most. But the hardest part is like I coach the boys' Little League team. You know, as like an ex-player, you want to be the ambassador for the game. You know, you want to get kids to fall in love with the game, to want to come back, to enjoy it, to smile, to have fun, which is a hard game. You know?
Especially
that means putting kids in situations that aren't necessarily conducive for winning. And so, you know, there was one specific night where, you know, they got in the car and they were all mad at me. And so I was like, you know, what do you guys want from me, man? I'm trying to be out here and let you guys have fun and go out there and play. And they were just kind of still being sour. And I said, you want me to get mad at you? You want me to get mad at you and tell you what I really think? And so I started, you swing at too many balls. You know, you don't hit your cutoff man. You pout all the game. You know, I've seen you cry 15 times. You know, so like for 15 minutes, I was like chewing them out because that's what they were asking me for. And so afterwards, they were like, it was the happiest they'd been all season. And I was like, you guys just want me to yell at you? I don't get it. Good action there, nice. That's a good swing though.
You were involved, you've been involved with NF for a long time, and your friend Ethan, who sadly passed away. How did you first meet him? How did you guys get connected?
I had followed a Christian athletes outreach, and one day a kid puts out, hey, I'm having a brain surgery, and you know, can you pray for me? And I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was like, hey, you know, I'll pray for you. And, you know, come to find out he was a Braves fan. I was with the Nationals, and, you know, he was probably like, man, what the heck is this guy? You know, because come to find out he was like super competitive, you know, sports rivalry type guy. And so from that day forward, man, we stayed in contact, and it was, you know, 10 years we had been best friends, man. He was like my brother. Through my relationship with him, I was able to see the impact that NF has on kids' lives, families' lives, and just felt like, you know, I need and can do more. 1 in 3,000 people in the world have NF. And so we would find people in, say, Philadelphia and say, hey, Ian Desmond's coming to town and we want to have an NF community get together. And so people with NF in that community would come together, that we would do like a meet and greet, autograph signing, and like just for the community to come out and get away from, first of all, get away from like the trials of having NF, and then get to know people that, you know, I think sometimes you can feel like you're on an island, and for him to, or for them to be able to get with other families and share, you know, doctors, or share stories, or share
just coping mechanisms.
So it was a great just escape.
Would you ever want to go back to the world of pro sports?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think about it, but then it's like, you know, I quit playing so I could be home with my family.
Yeah.
And the minute I go back to be a commentator or anything else, I'm
traveling
then again leaving my family. You know.
You still watch baseball?
I've been watching a little bit of the playoffs, but regular season, no. I mean, it's just a different game. It's a different strategy than the strategy that I grew up watching and playing, honestly. And so it's kind of like foreign, I guess, to a certain degree, but.
How would you describe that difference?
More individualistic, kind of like society, I think.
When was the last game that you went to?
I took the boys to a Rays game not that long ago, honestly. They were actually playing the Rangers. And I went down to say hi to the manager, and the security guard was like, you can't come down here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shoot. You know, like, back in the day, I was the one waving people down. Now I'm like getting rushed out of the place.
Hang on. Oh, that'll be fun, I hope.
Get down on the grass. There we go.
That'll be in great shape. What was it like in the dugout and afterwards, after that Odor thing?
Oh, that was like the shot heard around the world, man.
It really was.
Everyone's phones were blowing up. We were all fired up because they had beef that I didn't have from the year before in the playoffs. Bautista did the big bat flip. That wasn't my beef. You know, I didn't really have any, you know, stake in that. But like I could feel the energy from both, you know, sides of it. That blew up. You know, that was like, because you don't normally see like fists landing on face like that.
Straight up. Yeah, normally it's just everyone kind of hugging and
powwowing. You might get a shot to the ribs or, you know, whatever, but that was nasty. So if you Google like brawl, MLB brawls, like I'm in like 70% of them. Not fighting.
Right, you're always pulling people away.
Trying to be the peacekeeper. You know, waiting for someone to say the wrong thing.
A little left,
fine.
That'll be all right.
That'll do.
What was the hardest thing that you guys ended up facing, or that you ended up facing?
In my career?
In your career, yeah.
I think it was probably 2015, my last year, my free agent year in Washington. We had like high expectations. I was gonna be a free agent, and like it was a platform year, new like second year manager, you know, trying to be like the team leader and trying new things, and just pretty much without sugarcoating, I fell on my face, you know.
Yeah.
That was an extremely hard year, you know, because the first half of the season I hit like maybe 200, you know.
And what had you been hitting?
I mean, I had won a Silver Slugger the year before, you know, so, you know, that was really hard. The team underperformed, which is probably the biggest. Last year, you know, I thought like, okay, you know, came up in the minor leagues, like this is going to be the year that we're going to win the World Series, you know, like that was my hope.
Yeah.
And then I don't even think we made the playoffs, you know, so it was like, that sucked, but it also like produced like the biggest, most rewarding thing, which was the comeback, you know. I went to Texas, played a new position on a new organization, made the All-Star team.
Yep.
You know, so that was like the worst and the best, you know.
Yeah.
So,
But as you said, you finally kind of relaxed.
yeah, I was able to have fun playing baseball again for the first time in a long time. And that was like,
That's pretty good.
That was a great gift. Gotta go.
Get it. I've obviously told this story a lot of times. You followed me and Mizzen on Twitter in the same day, and I sent you a DM, and you said, "Hey man, I love the shirts." And I was like, "What? How did you get the shirts?" Because we were still packing and shipping every single box out of our house, and so I would have seen if you had ordered.
Right.
And you said your wife's mom ordered one for you for Christmas.
Yeah.
And you said you should come up and do
Like a trunk show.
trunk show, yeah. I came to Nats Stadium that day. I think at that point in time, we weren't doing 10 grand a day. And in that trunk show, we did like $10,000, which was just absolutely wild.
Yeah. Having the experience in the clubhouse where people were doing trunk shows all the time, I was like, there's absolutely no reason
There's precedent.
why he shouldn't be in here. And he's got a product that literally everyone on this team and in this organization would want. So it ended up working out great. Swing, first start.
That's exactly there. Do it.
Go in the hole.
Do it.
Shot.
Thank you.
Started with the birdie, let's finish with the birdie. Right in the heart.
So good.
Nice.
Birdie finish.
I like it.
Thanks, man. This was
Thank
great.
you, man. That was a blast.
Super fun to catch up, too.
Yeah, man. Well, you too, always.